Well, here we are, ladies and gentlemen. Here we are, Batwoman, episode 13. Batwoman, episode 13. We're still going with this shit! Excuse me, I'm sorry about that. It's just, god damn it, remembering this episode and all of the bullshit that happened is just oh my god. If you're watching this and you haven't watched a single episode of this shit, God bless you. God bless you, and I envy you. You can go the rest of your life living in ignorance and just listening to us here on YouTube who actually choose to who have actually chosen to review this shit. And I don't even know why. Out of all the shows I could have reviewed The Flash. I could have reviewed Supergirl. God, shit as that was. I could have reviewed Legends. I could have reviewed, or not even a CW show. I could have reviewed Pornos. Pornos would have been better than this shit, because at least you're getting something out of it. Batwoman is just. I don't even want to call it bad. I think that's an insult to anything that's bad. This is something new, something that's even worse than bad. It's worse than horrific. It's worse than terrible. This is just, there's no describing how much pain this inflicts on you. Just there's no explanation for it. You have to watch it to know just how painful this is. Oh my god. Okay, so look, just like with my other reviews, I'm not going to talk about the acting. I'm not going to talk about the editing. I'm not going to talk about the directing. I'm not going to talk about the stonework because it's shit. Of course, it's shit. So you should already know this by now. It is shit. It's never going to get better. It will never be good. So I'm not even gonna go into detail about how bad they are in my reviews anymore because it's already bad. You already know it's gonna be bad. So let's just talk about what actually happens in this in the episode. So the episode starts off with Luke, Kate, and Mary in the Wayne office building, and they're talking about Beth and her and how she's gone, and oh ha ha, and oh boo hoo, oh poor woe is me, I lost my sister, even though she's actually still alive, even though technically we stole her from her own universe just to keep her here because I'm a selfish cunt who can't go 1 minute without taking something from someone else and pretending that it was mine from the beginning. And here's my question: the second I saw this, do you remember at the end of the last episode, like literally the very last scene? Kate, remember how Kate was knocked out by Alice, and and Alice was handcuffed. So we don't know how she got out. We don't know what happened to Kate. So you expect me to believe that Alice, who, according to you, according to the writers, she was so pissed off that Kate chose someone else over her. She was so pissed off. You mean to tell me that she knocked her out and just left her there? Again, how the fuck did she get out of the cuffs? Who knows? Like, was Kate just left there to on the floor unconscious? Did someone find her? Who knows? And again, it's just this is something that happens with every single episode. The second it ends with something happening, and then the next episode starts, and then it feels like something happened in between episodes that you don't even know, we're never gonna see. And one of the biggest examples of this is that Jacob. Remember Jacob, how he got shanked in the prison? Well, he leaves the courtroom, and apparently there was this whole trial and everything. Apparently, he already went to a doctor. He got stitched up and all of that. What are you talking about? You're telling me all of this happened off screen? Like, just show us any of it. I mean, okay, you don't have to show us all of it, but show us some of it. At least the trial. At least the trial that got him exonerated, and just something. But no, he just leaves the courtroom and he's just fine. He's fine. It's almost like it never even happened. And it's the same thing with Kate. She got a piece of metal just slammed against her head, and there's nothing. There's no bruise. There's no scar. There's just nothing. She's completely normal. Like nothing ever happened. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ, this is so dumb. So a few things are happening in this episode, and I've got my notes right here. So one of the things that happens in this episode, so first of all, Alice is looking for Mouse. Now, here's the thing, Alice. You wouldn't have had a need to go look for him if you did not leave him in the hospital room in the first place. And now she's upset. She's going on, where is Mouse? What did you do to Mouse? At one moment in the episode, she's even walking up to Kate and saying, where is Mouse? What did you do to him? Bitch, this wouldn't even be happening if you just got him out in the first place. You don't have a right to be upset. Sorry about that. You do not have a right to be upset. This is your fault. You left him there. So another thing that happens in this episode, so we've been introduced to this week's villain. Now, I do not know who this character is from the comics. Apparently her name is Nosferatu, and honestly, I don't care. If I'm being honest, I genuinely do not care about this villain. So apparently her whole shtick is that she drains the blood from her victims. And you find out later that it's because she was born with a rare disease, because of course she was, that apparently she can't be in direct sunlight or any type of light, otherwise she'll get a rash or something. Like apparently her skin can't take it or something. I don't know. Who cares? So, and apparently she needs the blood for like she takes people's blood and she injects it into herself. But my question is, even if you keep doing this, like the way that they're depicting it, like apparently she needs a set amount of blood in order to cure her. But my question is like, I mean, okay, if your condition is the way it is the way you described it, then you would have to spend the rest of your life constantly getting a blood donation. Or why don't you just go to a blood drive or a blood bank or something, or go to a doctor? And apparently this all comes to a head when this bitch, Nosferatu, or whatever her name is, she captures Alice, who was in this warehouse with Mouse's ass mask on a mannequin, and she talks to him as if he's actually there. Because Alice is crazy, remember? And she gets captured. She's getting her blood drained out of her. And she tells her that, listen, why are you draining my blood when there's something so much better? So apparently she told her about how Mary's blood apparently has this universal cure-all, that apparently just a little bit of her blood is supposed to be able to just cure everything. Remember that? Remember that little tidbit that they gave us in the previous episode? Well, now just magically all of a sudden, oh no, that doesn't exist anymore. Yeah, no, that doesn't exist anymore. Turns out Mary did a test on her blood, and yeah, it doesn't work anymore. So just conveniently, all of a sudden that your get out of jail free card is all of a sudden just gone. Gone, of course not, because the writers realized that, hey, maybe if we have this thing that can just cure everything, then there wouldn't be any tension. So now they just came up with a bullshit reason. Or you know what? No reason. They didn't even give you any reason. It's just gone for no reason. It's just gone. It's just gone because, of course. Ugh. Anyway, let's just cut to because something happens afterwards. Let's just cut to Kay. Let's just cut to what our favorite hero Batman is doing in this episode, huh? Let's just cut to her for a second. So Kate is out there just looking for this Nosferatu bitch or whatever her name is. I don't care. She's out there looking for her. She finds her. They get into a horrible fight scene, and she bites her lip. Oh my God. And during this fight scene, for some reason, Kate just starts sexually harassing her. She just starts sexually harassing her, and she even says, look, I'm flattered, but you're not my type. And, okay, look, I know I said I wasn't going to talk about the acting, but my God, the line delivery was so stiff and wooden. You know how people like to shit on the prequels for the wooden dialogue? No, no, no. The prequels are Shakespeare compared to what's in this shit. So she bites her, and apparently she has these. And I can't believe they actually expect us to buy this. She has these injected fangs, these surgically implanted fangs that every time she bites into someone, it injects them full of ketamine. What? How the fuck does that even work? So you're telling me anyone can just have fangs surgically implanted into their jaw and it can just inject whatever? If that's the case, why wouldn't all the other villains be doing this? Why not just their teeth? Do it with their fingers. Inject fangs into your hands. And now whenever you scratch someone there, now they're injected with poison. Like, do these writers not even think about any of this shit when they're coming up with them? Ugh. So, anyway, she gets injected. She just leaves her there for some reason. Didn't even bother draining her blood or whatever. The crows come in, and Luke is just sitting there doing nothing for some reason. And Sophie walks up to her and frees her. Because, of course. And she leaves. Oh my god, this is bad. So she leaves, right? And now get this. Apparently, someone recorded the whole thing. We don't know who, we don't know how, and from the angle of the footage that we've seen, someone was apparently in the warehouse. Now I can only assume that it was one of the crows. And you're telling me that one of them, instead of doing their jobs and looking for the victim, actually took the time to record this and take it to Jacob, showed him, and he berates Sophie, and rightfully so, and tells her that, look, I can't have someone helping a vigilante, and I can't have someone helping a vigilante who takes the law into their own hands. So he rightfully suspends her and tells her, look, until you figure out whose side you're on, go, leave, you're suspended. So she leaves. And what happens with her? I'll get to that in a minute. Cut back to Kate. So look, what happens to her isn't even important. So she finds Alice. Alice tries to trick her and tell her that, oh, I don't know, she let me go or whatever. And Kate eventually finds out that Alice led Nosferatu whatever to Mary to get the universal cure-all or whatever. And, finds out it doesn't work. She goes over to, then when the whole thing is over and Nosferatu, whatever, is captured, she goes over to Alice. And again, she goes over there as Kate. Why aren't you taking her in? Just fucking arrest her. What is wrong with you? Just arrest her. So she walks over to Alice, and oh my god, this scene. It was so bad, I almost laughed. I almost laughed at how bad this was. So Kate is even doing the whole, like, let me lean in, let me get all close up and all up in your face, to like show you, oh my god, I'm being threatening. If you do this again, I will catch you and whatever. What do you mean I will catch you? She is right there. I just... Whatever. Let's move on. This was so bad. It's just, again, if you watched it, you know what I'm talking about. But, oh my god, this was bad. So she leaves, right? We cut to Sophie. She turns on the bat signal. Kate goes over there to as Batwoman this time. Notice how she didn't walk over there as Kate. Because she's been doing that for so long, you would think I don't know. I'm starting to think that people in Gotham City don't care who Batwoman is. So she goes over there as Batwoman, finds out that it was Sophie who turned on the bat signal, and Kate makes a comment, says, "I thought they outlawed this thing," and you know what? If that's true, then where are the police? Where are the police? If it is outlawed and they saw that someone turned on the bat signal, the police should be over there. And why I'm even mentioning this is because, hold on, let me get rid of this. And why I'm even mentioning this, sorry about that. Why I'm even mentioning this, because what happens, oh god, this was so dumb. So Sophie tries to, oh Jesus Christ. Sorry about that. Maybe I'll edit that out. And no, screw it, leave it in. I don't care. Oh my god. So Sophie starts talking, right? She says, Jesus Christ, hold on. So she starts talking about how apparently, this job means everything to her, and how I don't know who I am without it. So she says, basically, she's trying to say, look, I can't work with you anymore. And okay, she says, oh, I understand. And again, the line delivery, terrible. Terrible, 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 terrible all the way through. And then what happens is probably it is simultaneously the dumbest thing, but at the same time it isn't, because you knew just from the trailers that this is what they've been wanting to do all this time. This is the only reason why this show was even made in the first place. Not because of the story, not because they care about making a good show. It's just for this. Right before Batwoman leaves, Sophie tells her, wait, no, turn around. No, turn around. She puts her hands on her shoulder, turns her around, and then grabs her face, and then they start making out. This show is shit. Fuck this show. Fuck everyone in it. I do not care anymore. Bye. God, I don't even know if I'm going to review the next episode. God, this was so... Bye. Just bye.